You've also during that stream got to interact one of the greatest athletes of all time, Bert Kreischer. He's actually doing, I don't know if you're paying attention to this, but I guess he has a goal of running 2,000 miles this year.
Yeah.
I don't I've gotten a chance to talk to Joe Rogan yesterday about this, which is fascinating. I think he's a little bit doubtful of of Bert's ability to be the ultra performer that he so naturally is.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts about Bert as a runner? What's your advice to him? And what was your interaction like as part of this treadmill challenge with him?
I love Bert because he's such a nice person. I mean, as a guy who's just accelerated in popularity over the last few years, like he is like super kind. So for folks who are curious, like I've met Bert a couple of years earlier, and I just randomly asked him like, "Hey, I'm doing this live stream thing. We're doing it for Fight for the Forgotten. We're trying to raise some funds for them. Would you want to come on the live stream for a bit?" And I thought maybe he'd come on for like 5 or 10 minutes. And I thought that would be amazing if he did that. He ended up coming on for like over an hour. He said he went past his slot, sat in the next slot, and just started talking with some of the other guests. It's just, he's just, Bert is definitely like, I feel like he's as unchanged from like his popularity as one can get away with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like his lifestyle, I think, is very unpredictable in the sense that like if he wants to run like X time for a specific race, that's going to pull away from his lifestyle so much to focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily for him, he's actually a great athlete. Like it's under that layer of
fat. Yeah. So for people who are not familiar, Bert Kreischer is a comedian who takes off his shirt often, has a elegant layer of fat around him. He's also a party animal. So he's a weird balance of like healthy and unhealthy.
Yeah.
So he drinks a lot during, I think there's some debate about that, but certainly after his performances. But at the same time, he's into kind of the running thing. Mm-hmm. And he does quite a bit of treadmill running, I think. So, and like I said, has this challenge of running 2,000 miles this year. So it's fascinating to have somebody who so fully embraces life and the full joys of life as represented by the huge amounts of drinking and partying and just being a wild man, but also at the same time like being at least curious about this, challenging yourself in the physical realm. It's kind of fascinating. It reminds me of one of my favorite comedians, like Eddie Izzard, mm-hmm. who's been doing those challenges basically off the couch, just running a marathon a day kind of thing. It's fascinating to see the purity of those challenges when like exercise hasn't necessarily been deeply ingrained in your life, and you kind of just embrace the challenge anyway and take it on. And that's another way of looking at it, because we've been talking about running as a performance like optimization thing, where training is such a huge part of this process. Like race day is just the cherry on top. But there's for some people where the race is the cake.
Yeah.
It's like they just take it on as a pure challenge, as the thing you haven't really trained for, as the thing you don't understand the intricacies of, but you take it on anyway. And that reveals something about the human spirit as well.
Yeah, and there's definitely like a switch that flips when you in your mind decide I'm going to do this, where then all of a sudden it goes from like you stop thinking about that's not possible to like, well, I'm just going to do it. And I think Bert highlights that perfectly in a lot of cases where like he's maybe not even thinking it through enough to get to the point where it's like he gets to the point where he thinks this is not possible, where most people would look at it and think, I don't know if I can actually physically accomplish that task. Bert's just like, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. And my thought with Bert was the 2,000 mile thing is, are we going to find him at the end of the year with like 36 hours to go on 100 miles, and he's going to...
Right. That's right. That's what's going to happen. And it's going to be hilarious.